In the world of cinema, there is no genre or style of movie that is more quintessentially British than the kitchen sink drama. It is a style that is usually described with words like gritty and harsh. This style of filmmaking was actually part of an entire cultural movement that happened in 1950s Britain called kitchen sink realism. The movement's origins began with John Bratby, an expressionist painter whose work centred around things that were everyday and even mundane, like toilets, cluttered tables, and, obviously, kitchen sinks. It was Bratby's art that primarily influenced British playwright John Osborne's groundbreaking work Look Back in Anger, which opened in theatres in 1956, and was such a huge critical and commercial success that in 1959 it was released as a motion picture starring Richard Burton. The purpose of a kitchen sink drama is to realistically portray and represent the lower classes of British society, and in doing so attempt to explore various controversial issues such as drug addiction, poverty, domestic abuse and abortion. Since then there have been many classic British kitchen sink movies such as Kes, Made in Britain, Billy Elliot and Scum. But if you're looking for the film that epitomises this genre like no other, if you're looking for the perfect kitchen sink movie, then, in my opinion, you need look no further than Nil by Mouth. Nil by Mouth was released in 1997 and it was actor Gary Oldman's debut as both a writer and a director. Its cast included Ray Winstone, Kathy Burke, Charlie Creed Miles, Layla Morse, Edna Dorey, Jamie Foreman and Steve Sweeney. It's a cast of actors who are quite well known and established household names now, but in 1997 they most certainly were not. There is no story or narrative as such, at least not in any traditional sense. Nil by Mouth is not a movie that exists to tell you a formulaic story with a seemingly definitive ending. Instead, this is a movie that offers us a glimpse into the everyday lives of the people most of us don't ever hear or even know about. It will show you their reality, and by the end of the film, most of you will probably wish you could go back to forgetting that it ever existed. Every aspect of this film is designed to expose you, initially to shock you, but by the end of the film, to leave you.
It's an orgy. It's only turned out to be a fucking orgy, right? You're having a fucking laugh, you cunt. I mean, it's egg and bacon. Yeah. It's always been fucking egg and bacon. It's like salt and pepper. Yeah, fucking knife and fork.
She don't want to fucking see ya!
Get him fucking out of here! Fuck you! My kid, get out of here! I'll fucking bury you! My kid! You can't, you fucking
She's lost the fucking baby because of you!
Anguish would stand out and feel unnecessary, excessive, or even comical, normal to you as any other word in the English language. Nil by Mouth is a brutal, harrowing, bleak, violent, and at times gut-wrenching and established what Ray actually does for a living, but it's safe to assume it's not exactly legal. He also likes to spend whatever money he does earn on nights out low-rent strip clubs. Ray is almost definitely an alcoholic and is prone. Then there's Val's brother, Billy, who is a heroin addict and spends most of his time hanging around with his fellow heroin addict friend, Danny, who are both fix.
Danny's coming down. That's a fucking definite. Yeah. You're not fucking me about, are you?
Why, oh, hey! You're trying to revive me! Yes!
Layla Morse. Jan obviously hates Ray because he neglects and... Is she happy? No. Is she scared? Yes. Does she still love? No. She has given up. Her spirit is broken, and she's accepted that this is what her life is always going to be. Kathy Burke gives one of the greatest acting performances I have ever personally seen for her, no matter how futile that may be. There's an expression these days that didn't exist back in 1997, but if it did, there would be no better way to describe the character of Ray than toxic masculinity. Ray is a violent, unstable figure of fragile machismo. He's basically a case study of insecurities. He doesn't know how to communicate or talk about his feelings for fear that it'll make him look weak and vulnerable. And this leads to paranoia, which ultimately results in violent outbursts, sometimes quite terrifying. The first example we are shown of this excessive violence is directed at Billy, fast asleep on the sofa with Ray standing over him. Ray slaps Billy round...
Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Where's my fucking gear? Where's my fucking gear? Now, Bill, where's my fucking gear? Don't threaten it to me. Don't ever fucking threaten it to me, you cunt. Right, where's my fucking gear, Bill?
Calm yourself down, mate.
Wouldn't you be?
Where's my fucking gear?
The scene ends with Ray almost biting off Billy's nose.
Fucking business! Fuck you! Don't stop this cunt! Where's my gear? Don't try to fucking piss. Where's my fucking gear? Piss out of me, you cunt. There's your fucking clothes. Get him out of my fucking house now. Get him out. Give him a fucking roof. Fed him, give him money. He fucking things up with me. You fucking junky little cunt. Get him out, so I'll kill him. Then I'll fucking kill you, and I'll kill your fucking slag shit cunt family. I'll blow the fucking lot of you up. Get him out of my house now.
Now, was Billy guilty? Yes. Was Ray's anger directed at Billy justified? Maybe. Was almost biting Billy's nose off necessary? Absolutely not. So even in this scenario, where Ray has clearly been wronged, his disproportionate reaction prevents you from feeling any sympathy for him. It would be wrong to say that Nil by Mouth has no moments of levity or even happiness, because there are, but those brief moments are quickly followed up by an ice-cold shower of cold reality. It's almost as if the movie wants to punish you for feeling content for even the briefest of moments. Like this scene where Billy reminisces about his pet dog.
Hey, what's that? It's a dog, isn't it? What are you having a laugh? It's a lovely little thing, isn't it? Look, dog. It's my dog, it's lovely. It looks like fucking, gerbil. Fuck off, it's a man here. Fucking gerbil, look.
John, have a look.
Fucking lovely little thing. Hello. Fuck off, gerbil.
How can that be a dog, though?
It's gonna be a fucking beautiful little thing.
Hey, what was that? Fucking hell.
About 6 weeks.
No, that's a fucking week old, that is.
Fuck off.
What'd you
6
get?
weeks, I found it.
Well, fucking take care, mate.
Lovely,
It's a
isn't it?
pretty little thing, ain't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we had a fucking dog years ago. Beautiful dog it was. All stations it was. What? No, that's what I used to call it. Like, that's what I thought I was saying when I was little. All stations, you know. German Shepherd. Judy, her name was.
Only for the story to end like this.
Yeah, my dad fucking put it down when I was little. Like, I went on holiday with my nan, and like when I come back, right, he's fobbed us off with some right swaggy story about how it bit someone over the park. Lying cunts. I fucking love that dog. No, that broke my heart, that did. You know what I mean?
And the scene to end like this.
Hey, where the fuck is dog? Fuck off! What? You're fucking dog! Come on in, you fucking arsehole! Do you want it with me, you fucking wanker? Dan, that's enough, mate. Fucking have with a dog, you fat cunt! You fucking stupid all right! What's going on? You fucking arsehole! What's going on? Wanker! Where is the dog?
But nothing exemplifies this feeling of punishment than the contrast between the following scenes. Val is in the pub with a couple of her friends and is playing pool with a guy who is friends with her friends. Whilst this scene is one of the few times we see Val smiling, there's absolutely nothing any reasonable person could read into the interaction between Val and this other guy. But Ray is not a reasonable person. Then Ray turns up at the pub. Val stops smiling, as does everyone else. He demands that she comes home with him.
Where'd you go?
Here. Come out for a drink with Mum, didn't I? You were sparked out on the settee. I told Mark where I was.
You coming home?
Yeah, in a bit.
I'm going home now.
Well, why don't you stay and have a drink?
No, I don't want to drink. I've had a drink. I'm going home. You coming?
Yeah, in a bit.
Well, how long are you going to be?
Well, I don't know, do I? I'm going to finish my drink.
Where's your drink? You ain't drinking your fucking drink. You're playing pool. Never fucking drink at home. Come on.
Well, no, it's over there with Mum, innit? Don't worry about it. I'll catch up later. I'll get a cab. I've got to pick Misha up from Names anyway. Don't worry about it, Ray. I won't be long.
I won't tell you again. Put the fucking cue down, drink your fucking drink, and get in the cunting car now. Do as you're fucking told.
Liven up, Val. Take your shot, love.
He's fucking upset her. Gives me jacket.
They both leave, and everyone in the pub looks concerned. They should do as well. The next scene is set later that night. It shows Ray downstairs in his underwear and clearly upset. There is an immense tension that you feel right away in this scene. It's almost unbearable, and you know it's about to break. You know something bad is about to happen. Ray goes upstairs and wakes up Val and drags her downstairs. Val asks Ray what's wrong.
Wake up.
What's the matter? Ray? Ray?
What's going on?
What?
What's going on?
What are you on about?
Who's the cunt he was playing pool with?
Who?
The cunt he was playing pool with.
Oh, it's Peter. Peter Murray.
Peter? Peter Murray? Who's Peter Murray?
Oh, he's a mate of Gus and Paula's.
When did you meet him?
Oh, what's the problem with all this?
When did you meet him?
Ray, I don't know.
When did you fucking meet him? I ain't gonna fucking ask you again.
Meet him. I just know him. He's a mate of Gus and Paula's. I've seen him a couple of times when I've been
How many
round
times?
there.
How many fucking times you seen this Peter then? I mean, what are you fucking rumping him?
Oh, don't be stupid. Look
Are
at
you
look
fucking him? Because you look a little bit
barrel.
fucking friendly to me.
fancy
But fucking
me,
tell
mate.
me fucking straight. Are you fucking him?
Oh, I
Are you
can't be
fuck-
doing with
wait,
this.
Hey, don't fucking walk away from me. Come here.
Need a cigarette.
Fuck the fake. Have a fake. Have a fucking fake. Come here now, cunt. Come here. Why are you going round there? You fucking him? That Angus, did he fit you up with one of his little mates, a cunt? Did he? Cunt.
No, I'll go round there, right, because I can't stand this, right? I can't stand you.
So it's true then, is it?
What's true?
You just said you
What?
can't fucking stand
No,
me.
I mean this. I can't stand
What?
this all the
What?
time.
Fucking what?
No,
Fucking what? Fucking what?
No.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Get off, you cunt! Cunt! You go to your mother's, you go to the fucking hospital, I killed you. You stay here! You wanna drink your fucking drink here? You fucking...
The scene ending with Ray telling his daughter to
Go bed, babe, go on, go bed.
is for me the moment when you realise that the daughter represents us, the viewers, the audience. It is through her innocent eyes that the horror and savagery of this world are experienced. And like us, there is nothing we can do to step in and stop it. When Ray warned Val not to go anywhere and not to talk to anyone, including her mother, Val did what she was told. We know this because in the next scene we see Val sat on a table, battered and bruised, smoking a cigarette. Suddenly her mum pops round the flat, unannounced, and she sees Val's horrific injuries for the first time.
Misha, go watch the telly, darling. Good girl.
Oh my God! What you fucking done? Fucking hell! What's the matter with you?
I got run over.
What do you mean you got run over? Where?
Round by the shops.
Who run you over?
I don't know. It was hit and run, wasn't it?
Well, did no one see it? No one there? No one clocked the number?
No, I don't think so. Look, that's where he hit me there, see?
Oh
to either side of the headlights, right? And then I went smack into the road on my face, and then when I looked up, he'd gone. I mean, it was lucky I didn't have Michelle with me, you know, because he'd have probably have hit her as well.
You fucking killed her. I mean, did no one see it? No one mooching about?
No, it was down, you know, down the back, down by the old shops, down there.
Well, weren't you looking?
Yeah, of course I was looking, Mummy. He just seemed to come out of nowhere. And then when I looked up, the fucker had gone.
Fucking lucky. I mean, what's the hospital say? Is the baby all right?
Yeah, you know, they gave it a X-ray scan thing, and, you know, they had a little look and that. It's just bruising and that, but I don't know if I hurt, Mum. I mean, look at my fingers there, look. They hurt the most. They hurt more than this.
Well, they broke.
I don't know.
Well, didn't they say?
No, they sort of concentrated more on the baby, didn't they?
Fucking hell. Fucking bastards. If it had been going any faster, it could have killed you. You could have been dead. Do you want a cup of tea?
Oh, yeah, please, Mum. Oh, God. Every time I fucking move, it hurts. Can I have sugar in it?
You can tell Jan isn't convinced, but she doesn't say anything because, well, what good would that do? But inevitably, the truth comes out when Val, as a result of Ray's beating, suffers a miscarriage and loses the baby. Val makes it clear she won't go to the police because if she does...
Oh, yeah. Well, then it's my turn.
At this point, Jan decides to perform an intervention in order to save her daughter's life. She makes Val move in with her in order to keep Ray away from her. In doing so, Jan becomes the true hero of this film, if indeed there is one. By taking Val out of harm's way, the power dynamic between Val and Ray begins to shift. And this is the turning point of the film. What happens when you take away a victim from a victimizer? Specifically, what happens when you take the wife away from the wife beater? What happens when he has no outlet for his rage and anger? Well, firstly, more rage. Ray shows up at Jan's flat where he attempts to terrorise and intimidate both of them into making Val leave and come back to the house with him. He is met with resistance, not just from Val, but from other people within the block. He ultimately fails and is driven off by Mark, even more enraged than when he arrived.
Get back in the motor. Give me a fucking... You fucking get back inside. You got a pen? Get a pen. Get back inside. Get your fucking pen. Get back in the motor, mate. Now, B368 EJM, you cunt. That's all right. The old Bill's already got that fucking number. Why did they call the old Bill? Get him in here and I'll fucking shoot them all. You nosy cunt. You got it in here, I'll shoot them. I'll come back, I'll stab you in the brain, you cunt. Get me out of here before I kill someone. Get me fucking out of here. I'll kill some cunt.
His rage has failed. Secondly, he tries begging and pleading. Ray decides to follow Val when she goes back to the hospital for a checkup. He waits until she comes out, at which point he attempts to confront her and beg her to talk to him.
Hold back a bit. Just hold back. We're too fucking close. Gonna see us in the fucking mirror.
Unfortunately for Ray, Val is not on her own. As Ray approaches, he is knocked out by one of Val's friends, Angus, and left lying on his back. One punch. Out.
Yeah, I got all your coming up the side. Get out of it, good. The fucking Libby that was. It's all right when you're fucking coming from behind, isn't it? Fucking mug.
Oh, yeah, well, he don't want a fucking liberty, was it?
At this point, Ray has been exposed for the bully and the coward that he truly is. And because nobody is scared of him, he can't assert his dominance over anyone in order to make himself feel powerful. Now, he has to try to come to terms with that. As a result, Ray begins to unravel, as he is forced to face his own demons, his insecurities and fears. This inevitably leads to him binge drinking heavily on vodka and then destroying everything in the house.
Baby's life. I can't let it go. I can't let it go. I can't let it go. I love you forever. Forever. I know. I'm a mug. I'm a cunt. I've always been a cunt. You know I've been a cunt. Hold up. Right, you know how long you've been fucking with me, right? I ain't drinking, no, I ain't on it. No, I'm not on it, babe, I promise you I'm not on it. I'm not on it. I swear on my life I'm not on it, right? No, just listen to me, right? You just listen to me. I had a little boy I loved to bits. It's my boy. But I was with you. You fucked me off before. No. You fucked me off before. I come at you because I love you bits, right? And you pushed me. You fucking pushed me. You took liberty with me. And you shouldn't push me. You know how far to go with me. How far to go with me. If you've been married to me and you've been with me that fucking long, right? You should know. Am I wrong? Am I fucking wrong? And I've been wrong in my life, babe. I stand up here and I'll fight. I'll fight it. I'll fight him. I'll fight him forever. And go ping, ping, ping. Ping. You fucking mug.
Val, by contrast, has finally started doing something that we really have only seen her do once in the film, and that's smile. Why is she smiling? Just the simple pleasures and joys that most of us take for granted, but for her, they feel like a dream holiday. Listening to music, having a dance with Nana, simply knowing that she is safe. Ultimately, she knows that she can be happy on her own. She doesn't need Ray. Ray Winstone won several awards for his performance in Nil by Mouth, and it's fair to say that he won all of those awards because of the following 5-minute scene. Ray is sat with Mark, who is noticeably silent throughout this scene, and for the first time we finally see Ray open up about his feelings and show true emotion and vulnerability, and talk about his experience growing up with an abusive and emotionally distant father.
He took his dinner into him once, with Mum, in the pub. Like, as it in front of him on a tray, like with full salt and pepper. He said, what's that? She said, it's your dinner. I thought you might be hungry. You ain't eaten for 3 fucking days. You're living here. You might as well fucking eat in here, This one, Well, he didn't like that, did he? Mugged him up in front of his mates. I thought more of them cunts than he did us. He was always pissed in it, wasn't he, I mean, we're going to the pub, get a living, It's where we do our business. But we're in there spunked out the wall, we're sitting home, not a Dino, thank you. And he'd promised things, Promised to take us places, Never did. Never took us anywhere. And when he did bother to come home, he'd sit in that fucking chair, doss off with his trannies there, right? And I'd just stand there looking at him. I'd looking at his face. And my mother would go upstairs and I'd say, Mum, ain't Daddy going to bed? And she'd say, no, he's all right, son. He'll come up when he wakes up. He's got to wake up to go to bed.
Go to bed, yeah.
And I was standing there looking at this fucking old man, you know, my dad, you know, in that fucking chair, that horrible fucking chair with the shiny worn-out arms, and I should have burnt the fucking thing.
Mm.
By the end, he was hemorrhaging from both ends, you know. And I used to hear him in the morning hanging onto the cars. It was lovely, right? You know, never stopped him going to the pub, though. No, well enough to do that. Now, one day, right, he's staggering across the pub, pissed from the night before, you know. He's gone over, crunch, right on his mood, like a fucking ironing board, hasn't he? He's hooters round there, his railings all over the fucking place. Me and my mother got to go up to the hospital to see him, right? And we walked in. He's laying in the bed, he's got tubes up his arms, fucking up his nose, down the back of his Greg. He did look well, you know. Fucking vodka was keeping him alive. Well, I ain't that interested, so I'm having a little mooch about, you know. I've looked above his bed and there's this sign, right? Some weird writing on it, you know. I didn't read too well at the time. I said to my mum, I said, Mum, what's that say? You know, that sign above Daddy's head, right? She said, nil by mouth. Oh, fuck me, what's that, a football score, isn't it? Like 1-0, 3-0, 2-0, like a geezer called fucking nil. Yeah. I said, well, what's it mean? She said, means, you know, when they...
Well, it means nothing to eat, doesn't it?
Yeah, nothing down...
Yeah.
Yeah, right? And I remembered that day, right? Because I could have put that on his fucking tombstone, you know? Because I don't remember one kiss, you know, one cuddle, nothing. I mean, plenty went down, not a lot come out, you know, nothing that was any fucking good. And I look at this man that I called Dad, you know, my father, I knew him as Dad, he was my fucking dad, but he wasn't like other kids' dads, you know. It was as if the word itself was enough. And it ain't.
That ain't when he died, though, is it?
No. Lived another 10 years, slippery old cunt. He died one afternoon in that fucking armchair, about right. I went round to see him, you know, when he was plotted up around my mother's.
Hatcham Road?
Yeah, Hatcham Road, right. He was upstairs, you know, in that front bedroom, right? Laid out up there.
Free.
Yeah. I've gone up there, gone in. Sitting on the bed looking at him, right? He's laid out like that. Mullered. Yeah, he was like he'd shrunk, you know. He was a big man, you know.
Well, he was a lump.
Yeah, I fucking shouldn't know. I've got enough clumps off the cunt.
Obvious irony that Ray seemingly cannot yet see is that he has, but by the end of this monologue, we finally get the answer as to why for Ray. Don't get me wrong, his abusive past doesn't ever have a chance. It's also quite clear that Ray doesn't want to be what he is. He hated his father, sat on the stairs outside waiting for her. He's holding a bunch of flowers and but I will film myself watching it.
No. Happy birthday.
That's your way of showing that you're a sicker fucker than I thought you was. I mean, you want to get some fucking help, didn't you?
Look, Val, I'm gonna stop it. The booze.
Oh, change the record for fuck's sake.
Look, if I could put my hand down my throat and pull my heart out, I'd give it to you. You know I would. Well, she's performing again, the other one, giving me plenty of grief.
Mary?
Yeah. I mean, she won't let me see my boy. So it's all starting up again. I suppose I'll be pecking cool. Well, it's my turn to see him. I've gone round to pick him up. She ain't there. She's fucked off somewhere.
Where?
I don't know. I've been round her mother's. I've run round her. I mean, it's just another worry on me plate, isn't it? What with this and everything else.
Yeah, well, she's stupid, ain't she? Because it only hurts the kid in the long run, doesn't it? I mean, I know you love that boy, Ray, you know, but you don't do yourself any favours.
I've never touched that boy.
No, I never said you did I? Right? But you do hurt people. When I've really thought about this, you know, I've really thought about you, right? And at the end of the day, the only person you're fooling is yourself. You ain't fucking taking the piss out of me no more. You're mugging you. Found your picture.
What?
One Billy took. Oh, I'm going indoors. It's a fucking mess.
How's your mum?
Well, you know, she's worried, isn't she? She's worried about Billy, she's worried about me.
Coming home?
We ain't got a fucking home to go back to, Ray. Everything in that place is fucking smashed. Jesus, I mean, I feel like you really must hate me.
Don't hate you.
Well, I don't feel loved. I mean, that ain't love. I mean, can't you see what the mess we're in? You not notice what we're like? I mean, we don't talk anymore. I mean, if you go out, just get in, Mum, will ya? Just get in, I'm dealing with it. I mean, when you go out with your mates. And then when you are indoors, you're pissed out of your brains asleep in front of the fucking television. I turn the television off, go up to bed, you follow me up at 3 o'clock in the morning stinking of booze. That's what I get. Either that or you're knocking me about. And I'm 30 today, you know, and I feel so fucking old. You know, I'm so tired. You know, and I want to be able to look back and say, yeah, I had a bit of fun, you know, when I'm old, instead of saying everyone fucking felt sorry for me. I mean, that's the life I've got. Do you hear what I'm saying? I just don't want it. I'll find somebody else. You know, someone who can love me. Someone kind. Or send me show your love.
Oh God, there's just so much there. It's just when she tells her mum she's going in, and then she says, it's the line she says, I'm 30 today and I feel so fucking old. And you realise she does look fucking old for 30. And then she says, I'll find someone who can love me. Someone who can love me. Someone kind. And you think that's all, you know, that's like most people wouldn't just accept that, and yet that's the position she's in. She'll just take anyone kind who can love her. And you'd think, why isn't that ever enough? She stood up to him. And she walked away. The film ends with Val, Ray, Jan and Nana in the now rebuilt kitchen at what used to be Val and Ray's house. I say used to be because whilst this is never stated in the film, Val and Ray have not got back together. Yet. Will they ultimately end up doing so? Probably. But you get the impression that if they do, it'll be on Val's terms, after Ray has proven to her that he is indeed a changed man, because he's going to have to, because she doesn't need him. And for a film as bleak as Nil by Mouth, this is as close to a fairy tale ending as you are ever going to get. My name's Brother Neuro. Thank you very much.